Hello, everyone. I'm here with filmmaker Uwe Boll, who you might know um, directed movies like Postal, Blood Rain, um, Rampage Trilogy, um,
Yeah,
and House of the Dead, and a lot of other movies
yeah, I did a lot.
like
I did
Far
a lot.
Cry, In the Name of
Yeah,
the King.
I know it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, got quite the filmography.
Yeah, I mean all that video game based movies first, and then I went more after Postal into a little more original
Yeah,
material, Assault on Wall Street and Rampage and so on.
yeah. And you mentioned earlier that you have a um, recent release, you've recently released a new movie.
Yeah, Citizen Vigilante with Army Hammer is out since yesterday in the US and Canada. It's on Apple, Google Plus, Amazon, and Fandango. So, and it's a little like Death Wish of the new generation. It's like a Vigilante movie. And Army Hammer was a long time kind of canceled. He was a big star, and then they canceled him because of his sex affairs, basically. And I felt after 4 years of cancellation, he's a great actor. He should come back. And so I asked him if he want to play in a movie. He said, absolutely. Yeah, didn't had like tons of offers, and he did a great job. So the trailer is on YouTube and a lot of talks on YouTube about it. As usual in my movies, half hate it, half hating it, half loving it. So it's like I always have a split audience, you can say.
Yeah, love-hate relationship.
Yeah, true. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I actually have a movie that has Army Hammer in it,
What was it?
The Lone
Man from
Ranger.
Uncle? Ah, okay. Yeah, Lone Ranger.
With
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Yes. I mean, I did Man from Uncle. He did um, uh, Death on the Nile. He did Nixon with Clint Eastwood. And he did the Facebook movie, The Social Network, where he played the twins. He basically had a double part, the Winklevoss twins or whatever he played. So that was David Fincher.
Yeah,
Yeah, he worked with a lot of big directors, totally.
yeah,
But he's a great guy. He was so easygoing on set, no attitude, no like, oh, I want this, I want that.
yeah.
Like
Like
a
he
real
just
true.
wants to work.
Yeah, so sometimes when you work with actors, some actors are a little more work or complicated and, have more attitude. They want more extras. And so that's for a director, it's always the easiest if you have like people,
Or
they,
willing to work with you, and like,
yeah, they're relaxed and not like, oh, I want my frappuccino every day at 2 o'clock or shit like that, where you're
yeah.
like, okay, whatever.
Or like
So
how like someone wants like their trailer to be filled with certain things, like
yes,
that H,
yeah.
like a big 60-inch HD TV. Mm,
Or the whole gym, the
yeah.
gym has to come. And I had that on Alone in the Dark, where Stephen Dorff was upset that Christian Slater's trailer was a little bigger. And then I went to Christian Slater and said, look, we switched trailers. I told him, like, you go in this trailer and Stephen Dorff goes in your trailer. And then we went to Stephen Dorff's trailer and knocked on the door. And we said, look, you want the bigger trailer, you get the bigger trailer. So you go in this other trailer. And he like, no, 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 I didn't want this. Blah, blah, blah. So he acted like he never demanded it. But his agent called us, and told us like he needs the same amount, the same trailer like Christian Slater. But then when Christian Slater was standing in front of him, he didn't, he didn't want to admit it. So he said, I don't care what trailer I have. It's all good. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, first question being, what made you want to become a filmmaker?
just watching movies. I was like 10 years old where I told my mother I want to make movies. And she didn't take it serious, of course, like how, right? So, and then I got a Super 8mm camera and started filming short stuff. And I never gave up the dream. The good thing was I had another classmate, Frank Lustig, who wanted to do movies too. So we both fired each other up, you know, and then we did a movie, German fried movie, like Kentucky Fried Movie, where that was the movie we did because we felt like, okay, we were not able to really make a whole movie where you shoot for 20 or 30 days. So the only thing we can do is individual funny scenes, and then we compile them into a movie with different actors, and we shoot a scene, and then 2 weeks we were not shooting anything, and then we try to do another scene. So, and it worked good. So after 8 months, we had that movie finished with almost no money, and we were able to sell it, not for a lot of money, but we were able to sell it. At that time, of course, the video stores were big, rental, and they took a risk. You know, they said, look, we buy 3,000 VHS tapes from you. You know, so because of all the Blockbuster kind of in Germany were also this kind of video rental. And that brought us in a way in the business. And it continued from there. Yeah.
Let's see here. If you had to pick one of your movies as a favorite, which one would it be?
What? Say it again. I couldn't understand it.
If you had to pick one of your movies as a favorite, which one would it be?
Okay. I would say Postal, because Postal is the most fun to watch, and I can watch it all the time again and still laugh my ass off. And it's also, I was lucky this year, was invited in Spain to a film festival, and they showed Postal also, and the people were laughing their asses off. And it was so good to see that in a crowd, and the reactions from the crowd. It made me very happy. You know, so, and that's the thing. I made some heavier stuff where also House of the Dead played there. House of the Dead is also playing very well, like people laughing, and it's campy, it's gory, you know. So other stuff like Rampage, The Force, on Wall Street, Tunnel Rats, it's heavier and it's not this kind of fun to watch. You know, I think they're very good movies, but it's also darker and pessimistic. So Postal is my favorite.
Okay. Do you have any fond memories from making your movies?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost absurd how, like, when you sometimes I have to do new director commentaries for a new release of a movie. And I recently, in America now also, with Straightforward Video and Yippee Ki Video, are various like smaller outlets. They do, I think they do Postal New, no, not Postal, they do Rampage New, Postless New with Massacre Video. And Blood Rain was Massacre Video also. But they are doing Run and it is Vigilante, but also my old films, German Fright Movie, for example. And so, and then I do new director commentaries. And it's interesting how fast you remember your shooting, right? So when you actually, like, you're back in time and you're like, you're right there in your memories shooting the film. And I think, look, In the Name of the King with Burt Reynolds and Jason Statham and so on, that was big. You know, that was this kind of, you shoot a movie and you are on set and you think that is what I always dreamed of, like when I was a child, where you have the feeling, my Lord of the Rings here, right? So where you think like, okay, you're like hundreds of people and soldiers and orcs and whatever. And it was a blast shooting that film, you know. And I have to say, I shot in the same year, Postal and In the Name of the King. And both are like the shooting of the movie where I have the most fond memories, where I really loved it. I loved every day of the shooting. You know, it was so a good time. And of course, for example, Blood Rain we had a horrible time shooting Blood Rain in Romania, and we got like blackmailed by the mafia. Stuff got stolen. I mean, it was all kinds of shit, you know, like where I took a dog from the street home because there were like so many street dogs. It was a very exhausting. The food was total shit in Romania, so it was very exhausting. But of course, when I remember now Blood Rain, I have a lot of fun remembering it because the problems are all behind me. You know, Michael Madsen drunk and had like got real guns on set.
Mm.
You know, like loaded guns, and you feel okay, he's drunk and he has guns, and it will end up in a total disaster. And I had to take the guns away from him. So, you know, I have like good memories and bad memories, but it was definitely all entertaining.
Yeah, Michael Madsen is was a bit unhinged even when he did Reservoir Dogs.
Yes, that's the thing. I hired him because of Reservoir Dogs, right? So, and
Mhm.
then you see him. Uh, in a way, I like Michael Madsen. He's a good actor, but he was drinking on set. He didn't set his lines. You know, the other actors were very mad about him. That's the thing. You know, like when you have a problematic actor, the problem is how to what is with the other actors. It's not fair to the other actors. If one
Right.
actor is doing like acting out and not doing whatever is written in the script, the other actors have to completely improvise. And that was from him not okay. And I never worked with him again after.
No one works with him now because he passed away not too like a
Yeah,
while ago.
yeah, I was sad about it because it's
Mhm.
not that I didn't like him. He came to the premiere in the Chinese theater in Hollywood of Blood Rain. He came there. He supported the film. He brought his sister Virginia Madsen,
Mhm.
and he was a nice person, but he was an addict, you
Mhm.
know. And I think that ultimately killed him.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud to say that I'm actually 10 years sober from alcohol.
That's good, you know.
Mhm.
So, and I think it's the only way to handle it then.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's not this kind of okay, now I can drink every week on a Saturday or something. That's not how it works, you know. So
Mhm.
and I think he didn't have the strength. He didn't have
Yeah.
strength. He always let
Willpower.
it. Yes, you know. So
Mhm. Which actor or actress did you enjoy working with?
Jason Statham was very nice and like really super sportive. He did most of his stunts, the fighting himself. It was a lot of fun working with him. But of course, I shot a lot of movies with Michael Paré, with 3 movies with Dominic Purcell. And I always had a good time with working again with actors. Clint Howard, the brother from Ron Howard, Brendan Fletcher from Rampage was in a lot of my movies. Will Sanderson, who played Seed and was also in the Name of the King. Uh, they turned into my good friends. If you have a big star like Jason Statham, it didn't work out that we worked together again.
Mm.
He wants now 20 million bucks per movie, so I cannot afford him anymore, you know. But I
Mhm.
had a great time shooting with him, and Ron Perlman, a lot of fun. All the actors from Postal, I mean, Dave Foley and so on. It was great.
I'm actually friends with Zach, who played the postal dude.
He was so perfect.
Yeah.
It's like the funniest thing is he came to the casting
Mhm.
to read for the cop for the part Ralph Müller played later, right?
Mhm.
And I was sitting there and I was thinking, looking at him, he's totally wrong for the cop, but he is the postal dude. You know, like I felt it right away, like he is uh, like the guy. And then after he was playing the scene, I told him, look, I give you now some other text from the main character. And he perfectly did it. You totally believe him. His that he is kind of a loser, you know, but he's kind of like feisty about it, and at the same time, he has this like power,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
that
that is.
he has the physically power.
Hmm. Um, which actor or actress did you hate working with?
Hating, like hate. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, I don't want to throw everybody under the table here. I mean, as I said, Michael Madsen was very tough on the set of Blood Rain. Um, I did two movies with Ray Liotta, In the Name of the King and Suddenly. And in Suddenly, he played a cop. And no problem. He's super good, no problem. In the Name of the King was a movie. What Ray Liotta is for him not typical. It's like Jason Statham. They never played this kind of stuff, the costumes and fantasy, whatever. So on In the Name of the King, Ray Liotta was complicated. He was like, "Oh, my hair, I need blah blah blah," and I just wanted to shoot. So there was he was a little problematic. Let's say it this way.
Mhm.
But overall, all my movies, I never had a real problem with an actor. I always made it work, and they're not all turned into my friends, but I think they all had a good time to be on the film set with me.
How did you come up with the storylines for the Blood Rain trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, the game didn't have exactly this story. It had just how Blood Rain looked with two swords and so on. Like, and that was for me very attractive to make this in a kick-ass action movie. And I didn't want it to go in this other female stuff like Resident Evil or Underworld. I wanted to go more harsher, R-rated, more sexy, more bloody. So and then we did the first one, and then I felt after the first one, it would be good to move 100 years forward per movie in a way. So we went in the Wild West, and then we went in the Second World War. And I planned also, Cristela Loken at that point didn't want to do it anymore because she wanted too much money. We couldn't afford it. And then we went to Natasha Malte, who played in Dead or Alive and Elektra, for example. And I wanted to do another one, what plays today, like 2020 or whatever, right? But I think Majesco went bankrupt, the video game company, and I'm not allowed to do another movie, so I lost the rights. I don't even know who has the rights now, but that was it for my Blood Rain property.
Let's see. Hmm. Did you ever play any of the games that you adapted into movies?
Yeah, I mean, my sons are way better gamers as me, so if I just watch them playing it to get through it, I would be killed too many times. Uh, I mean, House of the Dead I played in the arcades a lot. That was also easy. You had the guns in your hand and shooting. Other games were a little tougher to get through, like Alone in the Dark or Far Cry. But I always got like the kind of story Bible from the game company, the character Bible, and all that stuff, and that that helps, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at In the Name of the King, Dungeon Siege, right? You have only a top shot. You don't really have characters in Dungeon Siege.
Mm. Yeah, you're basically choosing a class and then you create your own character, kind of like Diablo or um,
Yes, yeah, it's a little like you need to give it life from yourself. And the other thing is where a lot of people criticized me always, but I said, look, a movie needs to be also just playing as a movie to people who never played the game. Like, I mean, you cannot like cut everybody out of your movie um, who never played the game. That's bad advertising. That's also like you will not have a lot of success with this if people really would understand nothing without playing the game before they watch the movie. I think that's productive.
yeah, because if you actually know the source material by playing, like, say, the games, then you understand the storyline and understand the characters and
Yes,
And you,
yeah, of course. You look at the overall story. You look also at the design of the game, like what can you use, like the armor, like the figure, like you try, of course, to make a Blood Rain who looks like the Blood Rain in the video game. So, but a lot of times these games don't have really a stringent like storyline. So you have to create something on your own to make it engaging for 100 minutes. So
Mhm.
that's the thing. And I think in the beginning, because I did so many video game based movies, I was like, in a way, the front runner of this kind of genre. And so I got a lot of shit, like people
Yeah.
attacked me the whole time. Now you have every week a video game based TV show or movie coming out.
Yeah, like in October or so, we got a new Street Fighter movie coming out.
Yes,
And
so
just last month, we got the new Mortal Kombat movie.
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have TV shows like The Last of Us, or now comes Resident Evil, I think, as a TV show, and
They're doing a new movie, like a new,
that's another movie.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And but is not Far Cry getting developed by Netflix into a TV movie, a TV series or something? I read something about this. So House of the Dead, Paul Anderson wants to do a new House of the Dead movie.
Mhm.
So I mean, you have it everywhere. It's not the big deal anymore. But I felt like a lot of the video game based movies who came later, like Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, World of Warcraft, whatever, they were not so good.
Yeah.
I felt something is missing there.
And of course, in the 90s, um, movies that were adapted from video games were mostly shit, like Double Dragon, Street Fighter, um, Super Mario Brothers.
Wing Commander also.
Yeah, that was
Remember?
another shitty
Yeah,
movie. But
yeah, yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
True.
Yeah,
But now, for example, Super Mario, I like the movies.
yeah,
You
yeah. Like
know,
the ones that have Chris Pratt, like that's animated by the same people who did Despicable Me.
top notch.
Yeah, so they could have used Charles Martinet as the voice of Mario and Luigi.
Yes, yes, yeah. And
Instead, they had
I,
him play like Uncle Arthur or something like that.
yeah, I liked. I mean, I liked Hitman.
Hmm.
I liked the first Silent Hill.
Hmm.
They were all, I think, tense, and Silent Hill, the first one, I think, really captured the atmosphere, the creepy, foggy atmosphere of the game.
Yeah. Um, do you prefer to use CGI or practical effects in your movies?
No, whenever possible, practical effects. Don't
Yeah.
extend do a real explosion, do real scripts and bullets, but I mean, if you, for example, in Alone in the Dark, the creatures, you have no chance. You have to make CGI creatures, right? So I mean,
Mhm.
because you cannot have puppets, they're 100 meters big or something. So but this kind of like blood effects, also I insist doing prosthetic effects and doing real stuff, and not VFX.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like a lot of people are focused more on CGI, and now it's looking more um like PlayStation 2 graphics instead of like realistic.
Yeah, I think also too graphic, and now we have the whole AI factor coming in. Like a lot of
Yeah.
AI CGI gets done, where and it's a totally different process to do AI CGI basically as to do the real VFX from the old days. So now they have to like try and error basically. They don't really have a concept, and they wait what the AI brings up, and then they try to correct the AI in a way that they can use it for the movie. So and that's yeah, and you have totally different people. The classical VFX people they're not working with AI, and that AI guys who came new into the market, they cannot do VFX at all. They're completely different guys. They're different schooled to do stuff. And I think all AI movies also I saw so far are still looking sci-fi kind of fake.
Yeah, like the movies.
Yes, and of course, if you do now a movie like 2001 or something, yeah, you use a lot of AI maybe and CGI. But if you do a normal movie and you use AI for like in my Citizen Vigilante was out right now, there's a lot of shootouts, right? A lot of like people getting shredded and shot. So you cannot, if you would put a AI shot in this, it would throw you completely out of the film.
Yeah.
People would think that what the fuck is this now? I'm not in Batman. I'm in a movie that plays now and here, and it would look fake. It would look fake.
Yeah. And do you have any future projects planned?
Yeah, look, I did this New York cop movie, First Shift, that was on Paramount Plus and Showtime. I think it's now on Amazon Prime. And I did two more. We are in post-production, First Shift 2 and 3. And I hope they're coming on Paramount Plus then in the end also. That was fun because I like New York. I like this kind of old cop movie style, French Connection and so on. Mm-hmm. And so we did these movies. And I also want to do a zombie movie again, what is a little like House of the Dead in a way, because I hired the same two actors from House of the Dead, Jonathan Sherry and Ona Grauer, to basically come back, and it's a lot of fun to develop this. Castle of the Dead will be the title. Mm. And I think we will have a lot of fun trying to do this.
Mm. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you again for doing this interview with me.
Absolutely. Send me the link when you post it, right? I will post it everywhere. And yeah, it was a pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.